A place where millions of people live below sea level, protected by walls, canals, pumps, and centuries of determination. A place where the sea has been both a deadly enemy and a source of incredible wealth. That place is the Netherlands. Today, the Netherlands is famous for bicycles, tulips, windmills, cheese, and picturesque canals. Yet behind those familiar images lies one of the most extraordinary stories in European history. This is the story of a nation built against the odds, a nation shaped by water, a nation that transformed itself from a collection of muddy wetlands into one of the most powerful trading societies the world has ever seen. Our story begins thousands of years ago, long before Amsterdam, long before windmills, long before anyone called this place the Netherlands. Back then, the region looked completely different. Dense forests covered large areas of land. Marshes stretched toward the horizon. Countless rivers twisted through the landscape. The coastline constantly shifted under the power of tides and storms. Life was difficult. The first inhabitants survived by hunting animals, catching fish, and gathering wild plants. They learned to live alongside water because they had no other choice. Water provided food, transportation, and trade routes, but it could also destroy everything without warning. Over time, farming arrived. Small communities settled permanently across the lowlands. People raised cattle, cultivated crops, and built villages on slightly higher ground. The relationship between people and the environment became increasingly important. The land demanded respect. Ignoring nature could mean disaster. As centuries passed, trade networks expanded across Europe. Bronze tools appeared, agriculture improved, settlements grew larger. The people of the Low Countries became connected to wider European developments. Then came one of the greatest powers of the ancient world, the Romans. Around the 1st century before Christ, Roman armies pushed northward. Eventually, they reached the Rhine River. For the Romans, the Rhine became one of the most important frontiers in Europe. It marked the edge of their empire. Along this frontier, forts were built. Roads connected military outposts. Merchants followed soldiers. Trade increased dramatically. Roman goods flowed into the region. Coins circulated. Ideas spread. Technology advanced. Although Rome controlled parts of the southern Netherlands, much of the north remained beyond direct Roman rule. Germanic tribes continued living outside the empire. Yet even these communities felt Roman influence. Trade linked both worlds together. For centuries, the Rhine frontier remained a meeting place between cultures. Roman soldiers, merchants, local farmers, and tribal leaders all interacted in complex ways. But no empire lasts forever. By the 4th century, Rome faced growing challenges. Political instability weakened the government. Economic difficulties increased. Invasions placed enormous pressure on imperial borders. Gradually, Roman authority faded. As Roman power declined, new groups moved into the region. The world of antiquity disappeared. A new age was beginning, the Middle Ages. The early medieval Netherlands was As the centuries passed, trade expanded once again. Towns grew larger. Markets became busier. Merchants traveled greater distances. The Low Countries occupied a valuable position between major European trading regions. This geographical advantage helped fuel economic growth. By the High Middle Ages, several Dutch towns had become important commercial centers. Ships moved goods along rivers and coastlines. Farmers supplied growing urban populations. Craftsmen produced valuable products for local and international markets. Prosperity increased. At the same time, people continued fighting a constant battle against water. Large-scale flooding remained a serious threat. Entire communities could disappear during major storms. But instead of retreating, the inhabitants of the Low Countries became even more determined. They expanded dike systems, improved drainage methods, and reclaimed land from lakes and marshes. Bit by bit, they reshaped the landscape itself. Land that had once been underwater became productive farmland. The Dutch were literally creating their own country. During the late Middle Ages, powerful regional rulers competed for influence across the Low Countries. The region became increasingly integrated into larger political structures. Eventually, much of the territory fell under Burgundian control. The Burgundian rulers encouraged economic development and strengthened administrative systems. Cities prospered, trade flourished, cultural life expanded. The Low Countries became one of the wealthiest regions in Europe. But greater wealth often attracts greater attention. By the 16th, opposition strengthened. Eventually, conflict erupted. The Dutch Revolt began in 1568. What followed was one of the most significant struggles in European history. For decades, Dutch rebels fought against Spanish rule. The conflict was long, costly, and often brutal. Cities endured sieges. Armies marched across the countryside. Families experienced enormous hardship. Yet, the rebellion survived. Leadership from figures such as William of Orange helped unite resistance efforts. Gradually, the Dutch provinces established greater independence. The struggle lasted 80 years. Finally, Spanish authority weakened. The Dutch Republic emerged as an independent state. This achievement marked the beginning of a remarkable era, the Dutch Golden Age. Few nations in history have experienced such a dramatic rise. During the 17th century, the Dutch Republic became one of the richest and most influential societies on Earth. Trade expanded across the globe. Dutch ships sailed to Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Merchants established commercial networks spanning multiple continents. Amsterdam became the beating heart of international trade. Its harbor filled with vessels from around the world. Its warehouses overflowed with goods. Its financial institutions pioneered innovations that helped shape modern capitalism. The